Hello and welcome back to the Comic Corner. I'm Mike, and we've got Johnny over here.
What's up? How you doing?
Doing all right. So today,
Hey,
some
did you shave today? Because I did. I feel like we both look younger than we did yesterday. Is this true?
yeah, you'd think that I don't know, the Infinity Quest must have aged us then.
That's what it was.
That
Yeah.
or something the Time Stone. Now
It
we're
was
we're
the damn
golden
Time
we're golden
Stone.
babies. Yeah, trying to
Right.
get sold to the collector.
Right.
Yeah. It's gotta try to do something to pass the time too during all this.
That's true. Plus, we both look super handsome when we're shaved. So
Exactly. Yeah.
This
That's
is good for
that's
the ratings.
the feedback in the chat has said, they should shave more. So we we took that
All
into
right.
consideration.
Duly noted. So what's the word? What we got for today?
So for today, we're going to be talking about things like whatever comic news has been coming up. There may be a shakeup, not this week, but the following week. We might invert the scheduling. The way it's been so far is we've been doing Tuesdays are like the comic corner for like a book club, and the Wednesdays have been more we're going to talk news, and then also getting into stuff like comic sales. We might be swapping that come next week of Tuesdays for sales, and then Wednesdays for the book club. So that's something that we're going to look at for the following week. But yeah, for today, we could talk about some of the comic news. There hasn't been terribly much since last week. I guess just a recap of things. Obviously, for the past month, due to all the COVID and the pandemic stuff, Diamond Comics, the main distributor in North America, has basically shut down. Their home office had been closed. I don't think they've necessarily reopened yet. I think people are still working from home, and also all of their warehouses basically have been closed or significantly reduced staff. So as such, no new comics have really come out since I think it was March 25th.
Yeah,
that's right. So yeah, it's been a bit. But as such, comic orders, have kind of slowed down. They were doing some restock stuff, but that's only if you direct shipping it. Hey there, David. Thanks for coming back.
All right.
I was gonna
Mr.
say
I Hate the Ultimate Universe.
I was gonna say we're gonna need him here for our later debate on what this week's book is gonna be.
That's right. He definitely gets an opinion.
But yeah, so for right now, it's things have been kind of at a standstill in the comics world. But last week we got kind of a glimmer of hope. Diamond has said that May 20th is the day in which they're trying to get things basically, set the system going back up again. So that'll be the first week of new comics.
Right.
I've already done some of the final order cutoff stuff for that week. So, our orders should be in and coming out on time.
Awesome.
But it's just, at this point, just kind of playing it by ear. I don't think anything would change for the negative between now and then, but who knows?
Right. Who knows? Yeah, we'll see. I know I talked about this last time, but because I like the collected editions, like the omnibuses and epics, like that's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that was canceled over the last month or so has been resolicited. So if I can actually find the link and then post it, I'll send it to you or something, and we'll get it posted on the Facebook. It has all the new release dates for that stuff if people are interested. If you want a budget or see, where and when you're going to spend your money.
Yeah, because for right now, they had basically put a hold to the previews being like the big phone book sized booklets that they send out every month of, hey, here's basically all things comic, graphic novel omnibus related stuff too for the next. It's basically you get it about a month and a half to 2 months in advance of when it's going to have the actual street date. So you get kind of a jump on the issues or stuff like that. They had basically put a hold on that, but now today, or we're able to do in May, we're able to do the April previews. So for any subscribers out there watching or listening, they can send those in now, and we're able to put those through. I think we have until the 20th or the 22nd is when it's due.
Okay.
So they're trying to get back on that. They've just kind of pushed it back, and then they recently said that they're going to be doing a May and June kind of combined previews. So that'll be, I think, how they're trying to catch up on the month or so that's been missed.
So wait, do you got a new preview magazine or
not yet? The last ones that they sent were the May ones, but those ones I feel like at this point are basically just kind of collector's items. Like, yeah, they've kind of nullified that, and they're going to be resending. I think at the end of May, the May/June new previews that's going to come out. So, so we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, for right now, it's just kind of trying to catch up with the lost time, and we'll see if it's going to be, if they're just going to kind of push out a lot of books at once. I know some books have already been kind of canceled or delayed, but it's just a matter of if they're going to try and make up for it, or just start fresh in some ways.
Right. And something I had learned that I did not know throughout all this was that places like comic book stores have to order because they're direct market. They have to order through Diamond, but then other places like Barnes & Noble and Amazon don't. So they were able to get some of the collected editions, but then it kind of came down to like, do you want to support these places, or do you want to support your LCS who's like in dire need? So like that really opened my eyes to like how spending your money in the right place actually affects like, our ability to stay open and like other shops in other areas. So it's important to not just care about getting your book the fastest way possible, but actually looking to where the money's going.
Yeah. So. And that's been one of like the weird wrinkles in all this too, is it's kind of called into question a lot of the Diamond stuff of, they're kind of the one point of failure in all this. And, like it's kind of shown, one, kind of how quickly it was able to fail. And then two, like what that meant for everybody, because, if we can't order through them, for the most part, it's like, all right, well, that's kind of nowhere for anybody to be able to order from. Right. But then it opened up all of that kind of DC and those like two secondary distributors, which turned out to be like
Midtown was one
Comics and CB.
DCBS.
Yeah, DCBS, which were two just larger comic retail chains. Right. So it's kind of shown like, hey, there are other options, but that there's a whole other set of questions there of how do we feel about paying other comic retail stores to get our comics and things like that. So
and then I think that would affect, like, if you're adding another middleman, that would affect like the discount our store gets, affecting our profit margin, which all matters, like especially if you're like, if that's affecting every bit of your inventory, you know what I mean? So
exactly.
It might only be $1 more a book, but when it's every book you order, like, holy cow, that adds up really quick. And that's like the realistic part of this all, you know what I mean? It's not the fun part, but it's realistic.
Yeah.
So
and that's why for that, we kind of opted to kind of wait and play it by ear, because it was one, it was just DC, two, it was just a handful of comics, like it wasn't their full line. Right. It was basically them kind of like testing the waters, which makes sense. Like it was just kind of, hey, is this something that's viable and an option? And to my knowledge, it seems like it went through. People were able to get books, barring like whatever the pricing stuff and how you feel about that as a whole distribution chain. But it seemed like it worked. One of the funny things that I heard too is it seemed like they were actually like well packaged. Like there's a lot of like bubble wrapping around them and like,
oh really?
Which is some insider stuff with Diamond. Like it's more often than not, there's some kind of damages on some of the books, and like that could be kind of difficult for some people, because again, like you said, like if you're ordering X amount of books and honestly, like if you're not ordering that many, like if even one kind of comes in damage, like that may have been a book that was like a subscriber was expected to get, or you have to they do things like damages and reorders and stuff like that, but then it's like, all right, well now you've got to wait another week to 2 weeks for it to come back in. So like well,
that's only if it's available. If you get something,
if it was something that was limited quantities, and like the one that was coming in is also now damaged, it could have big effects. So it's something that as simple as like kind of more care and time put in like the packaging that they had gotten, like that changes a lot of stuff. So
well, yeah. And then like as a consumer, I always wonder, like, do you spend more money fixing things that get messed up than you would on packaging? Because I have to imagine you would. Like packaging's not expensive, and it would go a long way for the consumers. So I think that's something they should look into, because one of the Epic collections that I bought through our store, which came directly from Diamond, I pulled it out of the box, was damaged. Like it's not like we did anything to it. It came damaged, and the cover's all creased and it's got some dents in it, and it's like I'm gonna let it slide, but somebody might not.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
exactly.
it's their book, and if they're paying full price for it, well, it
Yeah.
should be in the condition of full price. So
Yeah. And you know, in their defense, you know, not even like necessarily just dragging them on it, you know, because we get, you know, like however many hundreds of books a week, and you know, like it's a small percentage, you know, like even if you know, like one or two books, you know, per week is damaged, like there's not that many in the grand scheme of things, and with how much
right.
you're dealing with. But you know, like you said, occasionally, you know, it's either significant items or you know, a significant amount of them that you know do get damaged on certain times. So yeah,
Yeah.
it has kind of shown what you know new standards people might be expecting or kind of demanding at this point, you know, because obviously, you know, that's their livelihood, you know, and if they can't sell something because it's damaged and then they have to, you know, like wait 2 weeks to reorder it, you know, that customer, you know, if they weren't, you know, like just somebody who is, you know, loyal to the store, you know, they may have, you know, by then gone to another store and you know, gotten that copy. So it, you know, it can be damaging in the long term. So
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think as somebody who has sold many things, like finding a way to package something so one could damage
yeah, yeah.
takes much effort. It doesn't. So
Yeah, like
that's up to
the
that.
sad thing is you could order like a comic through eBay and get it like, you know, better care sometimes than that show up for
That's what
us.
I'm
So
thinking of. Yeah, I mean, even if you just wrap it in newspaper, at least it gives it some cushion. I mean, come on. So,
but yeah,
Diamonds, time to step your game up. They're going to have to. I mean, this definitely hurt their credibility, if nothing else.
yeah. I mean, like, and that's, you know, if nothing else, maybe one of the kind of interesting things going forward is seeing what this means for you know, distribution just beyond this. You know, like, are there going to be, you know, new things in place, more accountability, you know, or just the way in which the industry changes? Because like we said, like I know that some of the comics, you know, people have kind of realized that like maybe they had too many series coming out. So I think Marvel had canceled a few series that were supposed to be coming out during this time. You know, some of the indie publishers too had to cancel theirs. So it's kind of, you know, having people readjust for everything. So
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that's only going to help them if they actually cut back on titles. I know we've talked about that a few times, but
hmm
if you have somebody who only has $20 a week to spend on books,
yeah,
well, it doesn't matter if you keep pumping out new titles. If that's their budget, they're not going to go over it.
yeah,
So,
exactly, yeah. Because these
within
days
that,
the average comic is like you know, $3.99, $2.99, so you know, like $3 or $4, you know, which may not seem like a lot, but you know, it does add up too.
well, yeah, if you're getting 6X titles a month, that's over 20
Yeah,
bucks a
yeah,
X title.
that's
And then let's say you like Spider-Man. Well, now
yeah,
you're over.
exactly. Yeah, a new Spider-Man like one shot or you know like 4-part series every other week. So yeah, it's it does add up, you know. So
Yeah. So that's
so
yeah, like you said though, that's really kind of all the news we have in regards to updates because there's just not much
yeah,
happening.
yeah, it's just
And
been,
new
you know,
stuff
kind
out.
of incremental changes like that of them kind of updating you know, people on, hey, we're open, hey, you're able to do, you know, like FOCs and you know, initial order stuff through the previous magazines. But beyond that, yeah, like not
I remember the first week we recorded this, like was right after this happened,
hmm
and there's so many clickbait articles that were like the industry is done, it's shutting down, and here we are like 4 weeks,
yeah.
and they're like, oh, we're gonna send them out in May. Like, yeah, it's inconvenient, but
Yeah,
I
I mean
knew it wasn't gonna
there
last
was a
forever.
lot of the like that Chicken Little, you know, like the sky is falling stuff, and then like I said, like it is very kind of clickbaity of, you know, like is this the end of the comics industry? And you know, like no, like I, you know, it's been through worse, and
Right.
you know, although this is, you know, has been rough for you know, the industry and stores obviously itself, but I don't know. If nothing, I think it's hopefully it'll be like a learning experience. Hopefully, it doesn't just kind of go back to business as usual. Of, you know, all right, you know, we're back to distribution, so we're just gonna, you know, keep doing everything as it was.
Saw this really good quote on the internet today that was like, everyone wants things to go back to normal, but normal isn't the best. We should like go forward. And I was like, yes, Diamond, this should apply to you. That's
Yeah,
more than anybody. Like,
or they'll just keep doing business as usual, and we'll see what happens.
yeah, I know that's on the table
Probably
too.
the more
Yeah.
likely outcome, which you know, that sucks and all, but let me see. Sorry, I had a message here from Dave in the chat. Just reading through it real quick. I says
Well,
in Marvel's case, it's about shelf space and limiting the indies, and DC in some cases. Yeah, like I mean, that's definitely the thing of, you know, like Marvel is kind of the biggest you know, I guess if you want to say offender of the whole like kind of flood the shelves type mentality of, you know, putting out new titles, one shots, ending series that were supposed to be ongoing even though they kind of knew them to be
right.
like a 5-part series. So yeah, it is kind of questionable business practices, which, like we said, like hopefully that'll kind of make them prioritize how they want to do this instead of just putting out titles just for the sake of it. Like just because, especially now, like you said, like it's obviously affecting the companies, but also like the customer too. Like because that $20 a week, might be less now because of it. So.
Well, the other, both companies got their issues because DC has a notorious history of soliciting stuff that then they don't release, which is just as irritating as getting too many titles when you anticipate something and prepare for it and then don't get it. So as much as I agree with that with Marvel, and I do, both companies have to take some direction from this and like fix their shoddy practices, because I don't know, unsoliciting things after people have pre-ordered them is really, that's happened to me. Yeah. Are you familiar with Dark Knight Returns, of course, the Frank Miller story?
Yeah.
So I have the Absolute Edition, which is like the oversized, they're bigger than omnibuses. They're awesome. And I had this version, and then they solicited a new printing, and I'm like, well, I'll sell mine and get a new printing. And then they canceled it. I'm like, well, now I'm out of a book that I loved, which is my fault, but kind of
okay. In its place, Johnny, we have like another Absolute Watchmen version, like the 36th year anniversary of it. So
that's why I was so irritated. I'm like, why are we getting multiple printings of that, but not my favorite story?
Yeah, I think my personal gripe one has been it was a Justice League storyline called The Tower of Babel. It was basically like Batman. I forget the overarching part of it, but it was like Batman. Against the Justice League, he had to have like contingency plans in place, in case, like if the Flash went rogue or Wonder Woman, turned out to be like a bad person. So he was, kind of had all these plans in place to prevent that. And it's a storyline that I really liked, and it was only available in like old, Justice League trade paperbacks. And there was one printing of kind of a standalone trade that collected that, but that was, like I think like 10 years ago, and since then it had never been reprinted. So it's one of those, like, all right, well, you could buy it on eBay for like $50 or whatever type things. And then last year it was supposed to come out in its own like black label or like essential edition recollection of it, and that got canned because I guess they felt like people didn't want that, or I forget what the reasoning was, but yeah, it was just kind of like, all right, well, in place of like kind of unique books that would kind of stand to have good reprints, it's just like, all right, well, we're gonna can that for another like Killing Joke 74 noir black and white edition.
Right, which who wants that? Like, why do we need noir versions? I don't get that. I like the unwrapped. Have you seen the unwrapped versions? Do you know
Unwrapped? No.
So it'll be like I know they did a Hush one, so Hush Unwrapped, it's like the original pencils instead of like so that's really cool. But noir, it's like
like IDW would do I think they call them like the artist or like treasury editions, where it is like here's the original like penciling and sometimes they'll have like the scripts or other notes on there too.
Yeah, they come in full size, dude. They're like 4 feet tall. Those books are huge. They're awesome. You've seen them in person?
Yeah, like black and white stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like obviously it's a personal preference thing. Like even when it comes to like variant covers, like I'm always kind of surprised or shocked when I see like a high ratio variant is just the base cover but black and white. I'm like, it's cool and all, I guess, but I don't know if it's like there's some people who like put a lot of value on there. I always when I was a kid, I always thought it was supposed to be like a coloring book version where it's like, all right, well, you get to color in your own cover.
Well, they have
many people do that, yeah.
There's a color your own Batman something. I know we have it.
Draw your own Venom. I know we've got on the shelf over there too. I mean, that stuff is like that's different though. But yeah, like when it's just the variant like that.
Yeah. And as far as black and white, I don't know, man. Like certain series, like Walking Dead's cool in black and white.
Yeah.
But that's also like what it's intended as. Like it's intended to be black and white, as opposed to like Killing Joke, which was meant to be colored, and then
like there's certain titles where like it may look cool, like the line art, like there was a lot of love and care with them, but some of them like they kind of, if not depend on, like they're definitely boosted by the coloring. Like like for example, if there was a black and white version of the Thanos quest, would it have been like as effective in some places?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have, especially like the warped realities and stuff, like the garden, like that gives it some vibe, man. The other thing too that DC does, since we're just complaining about DC right now, I'm totally cool with that. Sometimes not only do they take the color out of books, but they'll recolor them. Have you seen this? Like, if you get like the collected Batman Neil Adams, okay, nowadays when they collect something, they do have to digitally color it.
Yeah.
But DC takes it a step further and like recolors it to try to make it look modern. And it's like, why are you making a 1968 Neil Adams book try to look like it came out last week? It didn't. It looks terrible. It's you're mixing medias that shouldn't be mixed. So
related to stuff that we've read, I don't have it immediately here, but the Batman Year One, one of the early trades, like the hardcover one, is different like coloration versus the like the anniversary editions. And other ones like the ultimate version that we have is slightly different coloring than it originally was, and then versus the other trade, which does kind of make you kind of question which one is it's a preferred version, or do you just go with like the original one? But
yeah, and the Absolute Year One comes with both colorings because it's like a short story, but those books are huge. And same with the Killing Joke, when they released the Absolute, it's got both versions. And as a company, they only get X amount of spots per year, per month to release books. So when they're doing stuff like that, it's like you're taking up the spot of what was that Tower of
Babel? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which
like that got canceled in favor of Batman Noir. Like what the?
It does kind of create a little strife and room for us to complain here of like how come the books that we want aren't getting made, but books that have already been made are just getting slight changes to it. So I don't know.
Something though I did learn, something I've learned in this experience with the COVID that I found out about that is important to what we're talking about and important to our shop and consumers. When the companies are looking into reprinting or re-releasing something, the numbers they look at, the sales numbers they look at, are based on pre-orders. So for people that like don't pre-order their books and go, well, I'll just buy it eventually, like that's cool and that's your right. But when you pre-order it, that information gets back to Marvel or DC and they go, oh wow, 600 people pre-ordered this, well, we have to pump it out. It's our if you're not pre-ordering and just anticipating getting it the week it comes out, that benefit isn't there. So if you really want something, go to your LCS, go to Pastimes once we're back open, pre-order it ahead of time, and you're more guaranteed that it'll actually get printed. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that's the benefit of those previews magazines that we're talking about is it is usually soliciting stuff like I said, like rule of thumb is usually like a month and a half to 2 months in advance. But yeah, I mean they do look at those numbers because whether it's for like the individual like floppy issues, like that tells them basically like how many they should print. And then same with like you said, like the trade paperbacks or certain collections, like if numbers just aren't what they were expecting, it's kind of, it does, sometimes create these situations where they canceled. Although to be fair, I did pre-order that Tower of Babel one, and I still got they still cut it.
But you did the right thing. If you wouldn't have pre-ordered it, I'd be scolding you right now. And I'd be like, see, Mike, this is your fault.
Exactly,
you didn't do the
I am the problem.
Yeah,
and yes, and thank you, David. David is he's always timely with his orders, and yeah, he's got a pull list. So, and like that's the thing is, like the pull list stuff, like ours, certain stores will sometimes like charge for it or like need X amount of books. Like ours, fortunately, is free, and like we only ask 2 or 3 titles that you have on there to pick up, and you also get a discount. But that also that helps us because when we're ordering the books, we know, all right, well, we already have at least 10 people who are interested in this one, so we know to order, if nothing else, that many, and extras if there's just general interest around it. But like if nobody pre-ordered, like it's just a shot in the dark, and that's why that information kind of falls back on the publishers of, well, if nobody's really said anything that they're interested in, do we even put it out? Is there enough reason for them to go through with it? So.
But then I think going back to the publishers, they have to find a way to keep track of stuff that's sold after pre-order, because that matters too. What was I going to say? The Marvel Omnibuses that I collect, just because of all the message boards I'm on and all the groups, I know this information. Marvel had no idea that certain books were out of print for the last 10 years. They had no clue because after the pre-orders, they don't get any numbers. And so Wolverine, which is top 3 of their most popular marketable characters, that omnibus had been out of print for 11 years until 2 months ago. So they have to find a way to keep that information at the ready as well. So we should just start talking to DC and Marvel, since we have all the good ideas.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll see if Temple could have us being piped in directly onto some Marvel or DC TVs here to get the execs in here. We'll try to get them on the phone for next time too.
I want Stan Lee himself on this channel.
Might be a little difficult these days, Johnny.
Oh man, come on.
But yeah, talking about the omnibus and reprint stuff too. Funny because we were going through some stuff in the back here. We've got Marvel's Secret Wars here. We've got a lot of the issues, and I had a guy call in recently, asking to see if we had the Marvel Secret Wars omnibus.
That sucker's out of print. That goes for like $400 on eBay.
I saw I did a quick look at it just because I'm a visual person, so like I usually can't remember like offhand, like just by title if it's something that we had, but I'm usually good about like, oh, I've seen that cover, I know we've got it. So I did a quick Google search for it just to see what it looked like, but I also saw like the first link was to some Amazon a reseller who had it listed at like $700. So like it's crazy how much some of these things go for, because I mean, like once they're out of print, like omnibuses like that, they just kind of languish, and like they become obviously collector's editions, but it's a bummer that like pretty well-known stories like don't really necessarily have that many ways to access them.
So lucky for us though, I do know, again, just because the people I know, that Marvel has gotten wind of it. Like their collected editions department, their president, he's in contact with one of the dudes on the message boards I follow, and that guy's been feeding him information about what's out of print and what's really wanted. So this year, starting in 2020, they really did start busting out a bunch of reprints. Like we got that Wolverine book. There's a Silver Surfer that's been out of the Silver Surfer one was another that was going for like $500. They're reprinting it. You can get it for $100 now, and you can pre-order it. So it's really cool that they're actually starting to bust these out again.
I mean, it's always good, obviously, when the publishers, kind of listen to the fans and what they want, because, on the other hand, like they might just be printing stuff that, is already printed to, already been multiply reprinted, or people might just not necessarily want. Whereas, like if they just kind of ask, hey, like what are people looking for that we could, help out with, that'd be beneficial.
Well, I'm just throwing this out there. What got reprinted in November, which is the whole reason I wanted to read it, was the Ultimates Omnibus. I didn't even know about it, and then it got reprinted. I'm like, what's this? And like I read about it, I was like, all right, seems interesting. If not for that, I would have even been privy to it. So
I mean, I'm kind of the same way too. Like I usually prefer if I could get like omnibuses and stuff like that, because I don't know, that's usually how I consume media is very much the kind of binge nature of it. Also, like I always want to have like all of the like the one shots or tie-ins to that stuff too. So like omnibuses are usually very good about not only collecting them, but putting like chronologically in the preferred reading order, which saves me a lot of time. I always like so I'm always a big fan of them too. But here we go.
Yeah, I mean, I got my shelf right in front of me. I'm looking at like 40 omnibuses. So for those who don't know, this is an omnibus, Marvel omnibus. This is the Amazing Spider-Man.
Let's see the spine of that bad boy. Yeah.
It's thick, dog. So, and then here's all the issues it has.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's got the cover gallery on the back. So this
I've got one of those for Doctor Strange. And I like that. Yeah, like especially the way that Marvel does it. It's just like a quick at a glance. Here's what's in there. But just kind of like showing the covers on the back too. Is just, I don't know.
Which Doctor Strange do you have? The Steve Ditko one or the '90s series?
The Ditko one.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Did you get the Alex Ross cover or the DM cover?
It's the Alex Ross one, the painted looking one.
Dude, yeah. Anytime there's an Alex Ross variant, I'm probably gonna hop on that. Alex Ross is sweet, dude. Anything he touches. Oh, dude, we should read Marvels. I've never read Marvels.
There we go. That's
one we should read. That's supposed to be.
I think
I've looked at it, and it
we'll
looks
see if we get the blessing of David in the chat.
David?
We'll see. But yeah, Marvels is like that's a good one too, and also it would be good timing too, because they've done there was Marvel's
annotated.
There's Marvel's annotated, and then Marvel's X is kind of an ongoing series right now too, because it's the, I want to say, 25th or 30th year anniversary of when the original story came out. So like they're kind of revisiting some of that stuff too, and adding on to it. And they even have Alex Ross as I think artist and writer for that too again. So
and a year ago they came out with the epilogue, which was like a new fifth part. And you're right, it's the 30th edition, it's the 30th anniversary, because they just released a 30th anniversary edition.
Which I know we had, so that's why I was like, I couldn't remember just what year it was, but
and it's oversized like the Omnibus. It's nice. So if you're interested, shoot us a message and we can order it.
Marvel's over Ultimates any day of the week, apparently.
Just because it's bad doesn't mean I don't want to read it for myself and find out why it's bad.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I'm very much the same way with bad movies too. Is sometimes like you'll see enough reviews about bad movies, and it just becomes morbid curiosity at that point, because also you can't really appreciate the good the Watchmen of the world and the Batman Year One if you don't read some less than desirable comics every once in a while. So
yeah, plus I think it's cool because I've heard so many good things on it that I'm interested to see if it's divisive, if there's a reason that people hate it and some people love it. So
also Dave mentions in the chat here, I forgot, Alex Ross had an exhibit last fall in Chicago, or I forget if it was in Chicago. Maybe he could mention in the chat some more information, but he stopped by the Alex Ross exhibit, and it was really cool because he took some pictures and I think got some merchandise there and some signed stuff. Like, it was really cool because it was obviously he has amazing artwork, so like it was big blown up versions of that, but then also there was like a statue gallery of like statues and figures and miniatures based off of that. He says it was in Waukegan, so like it was that something like that would have been amazing to see. So who knows, maybe
why was it Waukegan? What the hell's over there? Okay.
Alex Ross is having an exhibit. That's what's over there.
You're right. That's why I would go to Waukegan, just for that. Good point. Oh, I think they got a Checkers. Remember Checkers from back in the day? They got one in Waukegan.
The ressrant?
Hell yeah. The fast food place. Mm-hmm. They have the best French fries in the entire world. You can order them in a 30-ounce cup. They don't even give you like a fry container. Like, here's a cup, fatty. And I'm like, yes.
There you go. That's how you know it's good.
Yeah. So next, when things reopen, we're gonna go to Waukegan for French fries and Alex Ross.
We'll try to have
if he's still there,
a Comic Corner Road edition with Alex Ross at a Checkers.
Oh my God, dude! I would, and we got to play checkers. I don't think that's part of the deal going. We should do it with Alex Ross. That's what we should do.
The Comic Corner has been scrapped for Checker Corner.
Hey, it starts with a C. I'm cool with that.
Sponsored by Checkers.
Oh,
that'll be our first sponsorship deal.
Like, all joking aside, I would love that. I'd get fat for them again. I would totally do it. It'd be perfect. So, okay. Anyway, enough fast food, enough Alex Ross. What do you got? What are we going to look at today? I heard through the grapevine that we have some comic books.
Hold on.
We got one more
corner featuring Checkers games at Checkers with Alex Ross, sponsored by Burger King.
Oh, I would take that too. Dude, Whoppers, they're their own special thing. They're so unique.
There you go, yeah. Eating the Whoppers at a Checkers, that feels,
Or should Alex Ross be facing off against the King, the Burger King mascot?
Oh, man. Yeah, since he's in some people's minds, like the king of some comic art. Yeah, maybe.
You're right.
A fitting duel.
Oh, man. If we could only have had Jack the King Kirby facing off against Burger the King, that would have been wild.
I don't know if his last name is King, but yeah.
Wait, I have a Jack Kirby story I never got to share that I meant to tell like 2 weeks ago when I dogged him. Remember
I was gonna say, when you were dragging
him through the mud, his sacred name. This is crazy. Okay, for a while, like 2 days, I had a job at telemarketing like a year or two ago. I was I'm gonna try telemarketing. It was terrible, but I made one sale, and the guy I called was some guy in like Iowa, and his last name was Kirby. And I'm talking to him like, by the way, I like comic books. And there's this guy, Jack Kirby, and he's like, oh my God, that was my uncle. And it was somehow like Jack Kirby's nephew or something. And we talked comic books for a few minutes, and then he bought like a radio ad from me. So
I was gonna say, now he's got a new set of knives coming to him that he's gonna like.
I wish, man. Oh, I should have just sent him knives anyway. He'd be like, I bought radio space. Here's your knives.
That's awesome.
Your Kirby blood. So yeah, that was a weird little, I didn't expect that to happen at that job. But
yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's up.
So we'll try to get him on the next episode too.
Kirby's nephew, you got
exactly,
it.
Yeah.
No,
I'm pulling all the strings here.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, sorry, I cut you off when we went back into the checkers corner.
Well, it's okay. I don't mind. I was just gonna say that we got some cool comic books to look at, and I'm itching to see what you got.
Yeah, definitely. Like David said, he's a man about all about them floppy comics for life, and like we had mentioned a couple episodes ago, we were going through the back, obviously because we got a bit more downtime to kind of go through some collections that we bought, just some back stock issues to put them up front, and in doing so, we were able to come across some more gems and more popular titles and just more generally more expensive books. So we had been kind of pricing, reorganizing, and some of them have already been put into our back issue shelves. Whether it's the back issue ones like the silver and premium books, and some even behind the counter too. Like we found some good, like either first appearances or just key books. So those have been priced and set up too. But also more ones that we were going for. Fitting that we did the Thanos quest too, because you found a lot of Infinity War stuff in there too.
Yeah, I was actually trying to piece together the entire omnibus's worth of material. We didn't have everything, but we had a good amount of it. We do have all 6 issues of the Infinity Gauntlet. We have one, and then we have multiple copies of different issues, but we have one full set.
Yeah.
I know we had some of the Silver Surfer books. I think a Random Guardians of the Galaxy, but they were all tie-ins, and a Doctor Strange. Yeah, so they're all tie-ins.
I've got a whole stack of stuff here. But for example, like you said, the Infinity Gauntlet storyline itself, we did have all of 1 through 6 here.
Mm-hmm. Love that George Perez cover, man. That's solid. He is the king. Speaking of kings, George Perez is the king of fitting as many characters as he can into one panel. That's what he does.
I mean, this one's just, like this is just kind of classic, like almost like Star Wars-esque kind of front cover where there's like action up front and center, and then like even the way the Infinity War and Gauntlet movies in the Marvel universe were shot, or like the way that they had like their kind of posters was very similar style of like Thanos front and center, and then just kind of like all around the edges we've got all of the side characters in that storyline. So
wow, that's true. That is like the movie poster. Good call, actually.
But yes, we had issue 2 here.
Okay, that cover's all right.
It's okay. No, we're getting to one of the best covers of all time. So
you're right about that. I agree. That one's pretty decent. Anything with Wolverine and his brown and yellow suit is a win. I love that. That's good stuff. I show you guys my Wolverine wall because I got like an entire wall of Wolverine comic books in front of me.
Wolverine wall will be another good segment within a segment here.
Right. Oh, we should do a room for. Yeah. Oh, that.
Then we got the classic. Issue number 4, the Come and Get Me.
I actually didn't even realize how cool that was till I was putting that set together and found it. And you have that on display at your house, you said, right?
I wish I did. No, I have that issue. I'm weird. I collect pins. I have a pin that's just that cover. When we eventually talk about a small little like detail was, I don't know if you noticed, Watchmen and Batman Year One. I had some pins on there. I had like a tiny Thanos one, last one. But I do have a sweet like Come and Get Me one there that if we ever get around to reading Infinity Gauntlet, which I'm sure we will for a book club, I'll be sure to pop that bad boy on.
Sure.
Then we got issue number 5 here.
That's a cool one.
Our boys, Lord, I think it was Lord Chaos and Master Order.
Oh, is that the dudes? That's them. You're right. Yeah. Floating heads. They put away the in-betweener.
And then we've got in-betweener right there.
Oh, that's him. I thought that was Silver Surfer. God, they look so much alike. And Galactus. Galactus is so cool, man. Anything with Galactus on the cover, kind of a big sell for me. Even though I'm not a big Fantastic Four guy.
Yeah.
Galactus is cool. What's number 6 looking like?
We got number 6, Thanos fighting with Nebula.
And the Hulk in clothes. I like
a weird, like a weird, like red suit that he's got on there. I do not remember that from the actual book. Like, I guess he must have gotten like teleported out of like some nightclub when the Infinity Gauntlet started.
I was gonna say that's how I wear my shirts when I go out, with no undershirt and just buttoned down to the second to last button.
He's wearing almost like a weird like martial arts belt too. Like it's some weird kind of fabricy belt. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, some red suede being
Now I just want to read
Hulk.
that Hulk's attire. That's
Yeah,
the only reason.
I think I take it back. Infinity Gauntlet number 6 for like top
Yeah.
comic cover of all time. And then, yeah, like you said, we had some of the kind of the ones that have in the corner here, like the Infinity Gauntlet crossovers. We've got like Doctor Strange number 31.
Yeah.
Number 32, or sorry, 33. Got Doctor Strange and Clea. And then we had a Cloak and Dagger number 18 here.
That's right.
Cloak and Dagger are two characters I never really read too many like individual storylines of.
Me neither. Their Omnibus is coming out in a week or two, actually.
There we go.
Yeah. See, wait, we're going to go back to complaining for a second. DC can't even get like big name omnibuses out, and Marvel's like, oh, we're going to do Cloak and Dagger, we're going to do Black Widow. That's how confident they are in their product. They just do random stuff. Oh, I love it.
Like it or not, like I know that they usually kind of follow. We mentioned one of the times that like
the movies,
their releases now have usually been a lot of kind of in support of usually the movies, like with the Black Widow movie coming out, like they basically had like almost like Black Widow month of like all of their Marvel True Believers, which are kind of like reprints of either one shots or number one issues in like bigger storylines. Like all of their True Believers were Black Widow based. Yeah, they had like Black Widow trades and omnibuses coming out, so they usually try to back it, which is it's usually pretty smart, because in some cases like people might not know a lot about Black Widow, so like if the movie's coming out, what better time than to like kind of follow up and learn more about them with like either the full omnibus, or like here's some of the kind of iconic storylines. Or they were smart enough to do ones of reprinting like the storylines, because a lot of times like those movies will be based off of like a certain story arc or something like that, so they'll usually try to reprint that so you could kind of follow along basically at home. So
it's good marketing. I mean, 100% on their part.
Yeah,
I buy into it. So
I remember they did that with the Venom movie, even though it wasn't like by that was done by Sony, not Marvel, but they reprinted eventually the Planet of the Symbiotes storyline, which is what the director of Venom had mentioned. He even like gave, I think, Tom Hardy like, here's like how basically like read this, because here's what we're kind of getting inspiration from. So yeah,
really?
I like when they do stuff like that of like kind of here's what the movie or the character is getting the inspiration from, and just we've reprinted it so now you can follow along too. So
that's smart. Like I said, good marketing. So So that gauntlet set, is it for sale? What's up with that?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Everything's for sale here. We're just slinging them all left and right. So we have. Oh, sorry, it's been bought now. Thanks for joining us, everybody. But so we are hopefully planning on doing more auction style sales on here as we kind of get more people interested and popping in. The plan is to eventually, even as simple as like, hey, check it out. Here we've got Infinity Gauntlet 1. Here's the starting price, and then if we're doing Tuesdays as the sales, basically the auctions will be going through until Wednesday when we have a show to kind of like finalize the sale. So so that's going to be one of the options for that. But for right now, I think we're going to be doing more just kind of discounted prices on them. So that way, again, like you have whether it's until next week or the following day to reach out to us either on Facebook, facebook.com/pastimes. If you're watching us on Twitch, you could mention in chat too. We've got the Discord, or just shooting me an email, like it says at the bottom there, comics@pastimes.net. You can reach out any of the comics that we show off on here or that we have. They're available now. Fortunately, we could do more curbside stuff again. At the start of the month, we got kind of the green light to do that again. So any sales that we do could be picked up, at your leisure, or we do offer shipping, if you're out of state or not able to make it to the store. So
pretty good setup, actually. So I'm just curious, are we going to try to sell it as a set for that one?
Well, this one the full set
for the Winters. Yeah.
For the Infinity Gauntlet one. Because I was looking through, like, you had notes here on some of the like.
I wrote it even on what it should collect, but we don't have all of them.
Yeah,
we're like Spider-Man 17. It's like unreal. We have like 30 copies of 1 through 16, like each issue, and then you get to 17, and we got none. I couldn't believe.
It's an Infinity Gauntlet tie-in. Of course, people want that one.
That'd be it. It's a cool cover too. It's like a big close up on Thanos. I don't know if you know it.
Speaking of cool covers, we've got the Silver Surfer 50 Shiny Boy edition.
You can tell that's the 90s, man.
Exactly. They
were a foil in the 90s. Let me tell you.
They brought that back for a couple issues here and there, like in the past year or two, but it's not nearly enough. I need more anniversary editions to have shiny covers like that.
I agree. It's a good selling point.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you are interested, like we said, in the Infinity Gauntlet, we do have, like you said, a full series of 1 through 4. We do have some extras of other ones too, if you're just looking to fill in some gaps. I think the only one that we might not have had an extra one was issue 4. I feel like I probably bought out our duplicate copy at some point.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. You like it?
Yeah. But yeah, so like any stuff like that. I think it might be up front. Thanos Quest #1, I know we had at some point too.
Yeah, I thought so. That is up front. We should include that in there. That goes with that.
Yeah. That's I don't know. I don't think we had issue 2, but
no, I didn't come across it. At least I didn't. Doesn't mean we don't have it, but I didn't come across it.
Yeah, probably low print run. People don't like the VR laser tag.
That's right. They said I'm gonna only buy issue 1 because that ending made sense.
I'm gonna throw away that second part. I don't even need it.
Right, just skip it. Go straight to the gauntlet. Snap. Boom. Half the universe gone.
Beyond that too, I know we had I showed it earlier, but Secret Wars, not a full set, but we have some duplicates of
right.
Obviously issues 8 with the Spider-Man symbiote costume. I think we didn't have, but we had
that guy right there.
Oh, there. What happened? Did it just appear right there?
Signed by Mike Zack, the artist. I met Mike Zack one day. Yeah, I'm sorry to show it off. We don't have.
Oh no, exactly. Yeah, you're just showing off now. Yeah, that's where we're conveniently missing our signed Mike Zack copy. Interesting.
Oh yeah, go figure, right? Yeah, actually, I had that graded, and the day I went to meet him, I busted it out of the case to get him to sign it.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought the signature was cooler than.
I was gonna say, yeah, like usually I'm not one to get them like slabbed if it's like not signed, but yeah, like I feel like signing it definitely has. Dave says money in the bank right there. Yeah, you could crack that bad boy open, just buy a house with that one.
Ooh, the giant size X-Men is what I could sell to buy a house.
Exactly. Yeah. That these omnibuses are worth like a small fortune apparently. So yeah,
I got giant size X-Men the single
issue.
The
individual issue. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
what else we got there though?
For the Secret Wars, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 and 8 we do not have. Obviously, like I said, 8.
It's gonna be hard to find.
Was there something of significance in 7, or did we just kind of?
No, I was thinking that too, because
if they if it's the kind of thing where they introduce the symbiote suit in that one, where it's kind of like not like
thought, but I think
first appearance, but it's more they call it like a cameo or like a mention.
No, I think it's stupid. I think his number 8. I think he's on the last page cameo. I might be wrong about that.
Okay, you might be right. Yeah, but yeah, 7 and 8 we don't have, but 9, 10, 11, and 12 we have. For the most part, like at least 2 copies of each of those 2 again. So.
Nice.
Available at past times, like I said, at the aforementioned ways to reach out at me. And then we have. I see. I've got your box here of all of the Men of Steel stuff that you were going through and collecting, which like we were talking
40
about.
Issues.
Yeah,
or 48, in 48 issues.
The first videos that we had.
Man,
was that one number 7 or 8? That was the first appearance of the symbiote suit. Because I know 8 obviously had it, like we said at the end, but I couldn't remember if 7 had something of significance also.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I got my tablet right here. I can look it up while we're talking.
Will you check? I've got also a chunk of. We had showed the first the inaugural comics corner, but we had some technical difficulties, so
this is sweet.
It's new to you guys again, but we have a lot of early Iron Man. Got issue number 2. I think it spans. We had Iron Man a smattering between issues 2 until 121.
I think we're just missing
112
or 9 and 19 or something like that.
Yeah, but it's pretty straight run. You've got 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, like it's a pretty straightforward runs in a lot of those. Obviously no number 1, but all in pretty good condition. nothing terrible, like no like cracked covers or anything like that. So if you're looking for some early Iron Man stuff, we've got like I said, a pretty good mix between issues 2 and 112 that we kind of found in the back there. And then a similar one that we came across was for we've got the Submariner, which we were talking about too, because he's got a movie, I believe, coming up soon in the or a TV show.
So,
yeah,
Secret Wars 7 is apparently the first appearance of Spider-Woman 2.
The sequel.
Yeah, exactly. Her name is Julia Carpenter. I didn't know any of that. Mm-hmm. So that's the draw to that one. Doesn't say anything about the costume, but it's got that. But even on my comic shop, Very Fines are only $15. So I think we just did.
Yeah, it might have just been one that we might not have had that many copies of because, obviously, usually later issues, especially after like a big appearance like that, it obviously even happens now of if there's like a new character that comes out, the follow-up issues, there's usually a lot more kind of out there in the marketplace because people kind of like caught wind of it and then are, joining in after that. So like we have, a good amount of copies after that, but
like House of X, Powers of X, how there's like 1 billion, 4, 5, and 6, but you can't find 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, exactly. I think we have a couple of them somewhere, but not number 2. I think that was, number 2 was kind of.
It was the hardest to get because that Moira McTaggart stuff. Mm-hmm. But the Submariner you were saying, because they got that movie. It's been teased. It's coming eventually. Like those might be good books for prospecting if that's what you're into.
Definitely. Submariner, a character that I never really got into myself, but like I said, I'm a weird fan for Doctor Strange, and he shows up in like the Defenders. So like it's like him, Hulk, Silver Surfer. So I've usually gotten him like just through kind of osmosis of secondary books, but got him fighting. Next one is the weird. I like the kind of newsprint like background going on here.
That's Jack Kirby, right?
Yeah.
No, it's cool that he does that mixed media. That works for that.
We'll get his nephew to sign that one for us.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, so we've got like you said, a lot of just kind of earlier and older books that we've come across in the back. Let me check here. We had for the Submariner, we had issues, a mix between issues of 3 through 72. So a lot of early stuff. This one was his volume, the 1968 volume, which was I think volume 2 for Submariner.
Yeah, because he had that Golden Age run before that, which was really old. Yeah, Submariner though, he's the Marvel equivalent of Aquaman. He's kind of lame.
I don't know. He was like usually I think his early stuff he was kind of like a weird villain status. Like I know he's like kidnapping Sue Storm a few times and like
there's a big thing with him and Sue Storm. It made me uncomfortable. I think she likes him because there's some panels I saw when I googled some certain keywords and I was like, what's going on? So
I don't need to know your Submariner search history, Johnny.
Oh yeah, no comment.
But yeah, I don't know. I always kind of liked him over Aquaman for that kind of stuff. Of like he definitely seemed to have a little bit more going on, or kind of like maybe it's just because they gave him kind of like the Spock type look of the short hair and like pointy ears. So he felt like kind of a lot more classic villain.
He kind of like Spock. Holy crap! I'm never gonna unsee that now.
Something else for you to look for.
Scuba Spock. Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, so we've got quite a bit of some older books that we've gone through, and yeah, like I said, if those are anything that you're interested in, feel free to shoot us a message, either if you're watching on Facebook now, even if you're catching this later, because I know it saves it as like a video on demand. Same with through Twitch. You can reach out to us there, or we've got the email at the bottom there, comics@pastimes.net. Or if you check on our Facebook page, we have links to our Discord server. I'm usually pretty active on there. And again, if you message on there, either direct message me or point out, in the comic book chat area that you're looking for it, we can definitely start, like I said, we can do either shipping or curbside pickup again. It's now available. So.
Yeah. And the more you buy, the more the better deal we can potentially give you. So if
Yeah,
you want
I mean,
a big run, you're better off just getting it all at one
exactly. Yeah,
time.
I mean, we usually do try to price them as if we sell it as bundle, we usually try to have the price cut in there too. But if it's not set as its own bundle, but if you're getting like a story run or just multiple issues, we're usually very flexible with like adding in discounts and stuff for that because
so just more incentive to buy more.
Exactly. Yeah. Just no
clear
reason.
our inventory. So yeah. So I don't know. Anything else worth talking about?
I think that, like we said, that's kind of the most of it. Right now, we're just kind of waiting to see. Again, fortunately, a lot of the diamond stuff seems to have kind of straightened itself out, and it does seem to be pretty solid that May 20th is when they're going to be back open and doing new weeks of comics. So things will be available then. But since then, yeah, like not too much going on. We've just been doing some curbside stuff here, having people come in. If you've still got issues in your pull box and you're waiting for the store to be open, obviously we're not open, but if you were just looking to not get stuff shipped, you can come on by and pick the stuff up now too. So.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the store. I haven't even been there in like 3 or 4 weeks, and it's a bummer. I like being there.
Yeah, I mean, we were like I mentioned, like we were making really good progress on kind of going through a lot of this back stuff, and there's still quite a bit a bit left. So yeah, hopefully we'll have you coming in more, and then we could start setting up more of these kind of bundles that we've come across, because yeah, we've seen some neat stuff, and if nothing else, it gives us time to kind of go through what we currently have and just kind of make a bundle from there too. Because I know we were looking for like some year one and other stuff, but unfortunately that one I know we didn't have like a full setup, which is a bummer, especially after like getting to read that one and really enjoying it. But
same with Death in the Family. I was trying to look. We have like multiple copies of one issue, but then we don't have any of another.
Yeah, that's just how it always goes. The hunt always continues. But yeah, I think that may be all for this week. Or wait, no, that's a lie. We didn't finalize. Or do you want to do? Was it definitive Marvels in place of
Gauntlet?
the Ultimates?
Yeah, I don't want to turn away one of our viewers, so we'll stick
exactly. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we can't anger Dave. But yeah, no, I'm definitely down for Marvels, because I'd read that one I hadn't read, but I remember I read by Alex Ross, like it was that kind of that DC one. Gosh,
Kingdom.
What's that? No, not Kingdom Come. It was the it's the one with the scene with Batman and the young boy, like, who had like a gun, and like it was kind of a more like after school PSA type series. But Alex Ross, I always loved his like very realistic renditions of the characters. Like in some ways, like that's how I kind of always preferred like the Superman ones. Like I feel like he always had just like a really good version of Superman.
Sure.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing the Marvel one. So I guess we'll say Marvels is going to be for this following week our book club book of the week.
Hell yeah! All right, I'm stoked on that. That's
so I'll finalize that in our Discord. I'll put that out there so we can start working on your homework to get it on the desk. And it sounds like we're going to do next Tuesday will be probably another one of these, the news and kind of sales days.
Okay.
And then Wednesday I think will be the actual when I want that book report on my desk.
You got it. All right, I'm ready for you.
So yeah, I think that's going to be all for us for in the comic corner here for this week. Like I said, we'll be back next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. But Pastimes is going to have some streaming throughout, obviously. So keep an eye out on the Facebook and Twitch channels. Offhand, I know Royce is going to be back in this Thursday. So tomorrow, not for some poker packs, but we're going to try something a little bit different involving some Gundams. So be sure to pop in for that. I might be there helping her along with that, or maybe making things worse. But yeah. So and then we've got plenty of Magic stuff going on. I think we'll be doing more pack openings too. So be sure to stop on by for that. But yeah, for Johnny and I think that'll be all for the week, and we'll be back on Tuesday.
See you then.
All right. Thanks for joining, guys.
Thank you.